In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about keeping shame in a box, how ladies love libraries, and wearing all top hats all the time in our discussion of How to Marry a Werewolf by Gail Carriger. Yay!
Woo!
Woo! Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult, and sometimes other, books, series, authors, voice actors, and illustrators that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to end Season 7 with our discussion of How to Marry a Werewolf by Gail Carriger.
Standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read or listened and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read or listen to the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just like the show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
Woo!
Woo!
Can I start off by apologising that my voice is not quite 100%. I have had a sore throat and completely lost my voice this week, but I am pushing through. I am projecting. I am enunciating.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Cool. That's my background information.
That's really
What's
good,
yours?
Well, obviously I got this background information from Miss Gail's website, which is where I get everything for anything involving Miss Gail Carriger. This page of her website is called Why Did I Write Channing's Novella Now?
Good question.
Good question. Ever wonder about Channing's backstory? Well, I always have. This novella will reveal all, plus introduce you to some lovable new characters. And you'll get your Biffy and Lyle fix too. Yay!
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you.
I guess that was what I was craving, so that's what I wrote. Channing first appears in Changeless, and despite his attitude problem, or possibly because of it, that's for me, he has had his fair share of reader love over the years. He redeems himself slightly by the end of the Parasol Protectorate, and even more so during his brief appearances in Romancing the Inventor, and that is true. And he's the only thing I liked about that one. Woo! That was mean, Amanda. Romancing the Werewolf drops a big hint as to the cause of some of his bitterness. I've always felt his issues stem from the fact that he's lonely, bless his little heart. Although he is trouble, never doubt. So I asked myself this question: who can handle a sarcastic werewolf with trust issues and antisocial behavior? That, my darlings, takes an American. I do hope you enjoy seeing Channing get not only a woman to love, but the woman he so richly deserves. Yours forever, Miss Gail. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's my initial thought. Yes. Literally, just the word yes.
Oh, mine is Channing of the Chesterfield Channings. In all capital letters.
Yes.
I feel like I should warn everyone that as I was preparing this summary, I abbreviated his name because, as you will have noticed, I know, in every episode in which we discuss or feature or even slightly mention Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, we always give him his full proper name, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings. So I had shortened it while I was writing the summary, because writing Channing of the Chesterfield Channings every time, that's a lot. But
I would have just copied and pasted, to be fair.
Don't worry, it's all there every single
Good.
time. Channing of the Chesterfield Channings. So you're probably going to get sick of us saying Channing of the Chesterfield Channings in this episode. How many times have I said it already? It's that episode with the box. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
It's lost all meaning already. We haven't even started the summary, and I'm not counting this time.
No, that was entirely too much.
65 million times.
At least.
At least.
At least. Let's crack on. Let's crack on, Claire, with this very last episode of Season 7 of Fictional Hangover. God, It's so many episodes. I don't know what to do with myself. Faith Wigglesworth is the shame of her family. And her mother and father just don't know what to do with her. She's an embarrassment to the whole of Boston, if her parents are to be believed. But Faith is pretty sure that everyone will forget everything about her by summer. Her parents want her to disappear, so they decide to ship her off to London in hopes of her marrying a werewolf, because werewolves won't be bothered by her indiscretion. Faith and her maid, Minnie, board a dirigible, and 3 days later, they are in London.
Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, head of Burr, is at the Hyde Park embarkation green waiting for a dirigible to arrive from America. He has heard of a shipment of sundowner bullets that might be on their way to London to someone in the anti-supernatural set, so he has to figure out a way to search the dirigible without being offensive to its passengers, though he is feeling rather growly at present.
Yes.
One of his assistants spots a woman, her maid, and their porter struggling with luggage in a very heavy case that he suspects might contain the bullets. It does not. It contains some of Faith's shame. Shame.
Shame in a box.
Shame in a box. What's in the box?
Shame. The case, specially made, contains Faith's rock collection. Shame! She has been studying rocks for years, and it was fine until her indiscretion.
I hate that word.
But now she is judged more harshly about everything. As Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, who Faith suspects to be a vampire, inspects her case, she is very sassy to him about her collection, sarcastically suggesting that her rocks will not sully his virtue. Apparently satisfied that this is just a collection of rocks and not sundowner bullets, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings compliments one of the stones, lapis lazuli, comparing it to Faith's eyes.
After this, Faith meets her cousins, though they're much more distantly related than that. Cousin Theodora Iftercast, Teddy, loves horses, and her mother is lovingly tired of that. She's also nonplussed about the rocks, which is nice. Faith discusses the handsome blonde vampire she met, but the only handsome blonde vampire they know who could physically be in the area due to tethers and status is Lord Akeldama. No way Faith would be able to describe him better.
Oh, her very, generic description. Well, he's handsome and blonde. Oh, it's got to be Lord Akeldama. No way! He's so flamboyant. There's no way. Wrong.
Stamp. They think rightfully so. She met Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, who was distinctly not a vampire.
No, not at all. After rifling through all of Faith's clothes, Teddy insists they go shopping, though Faith lets her cousin know that she was not sent with much money. Teddy understands that Faith's family doesn't seem to like her much, especially when she says her mother would prefer that she marry a werewolf and never return from London. It's not very nice.
Nice.
Faith tells her cousin that something happened to make her parents feel this way, but she prefers not to speak of it at the present time. Their shopping takes them to Chapeau de Poop, where Faith is assisted by none other than Alpha Werewolf Sandalion de Robofano. Biffy, please. Yay! Biffy! He understands her fashion choices, preferring split skirts and slightly more masculine attire, but not so far as others we know. Wink. So he fits her with hats intended for gentlemen, and she looks lovely. Apparently this is all the rage in Paris. Soon Channing of the Chesterfield Channings arrives, and Biffy seems to sense something between the two. He insists that she and her cousin attend a ball that weekend.
Ooh. After they leave Chapeau de Poop, Biffy and Channing of the Chesterfield Channings chat whilst heading below to the full moon dungeons. Channing of the Chesterfield Channings seems somewhat protective or something over Faith, and of course Biffy noticed that Channing of the Chesterfield Channings says that. With all the extra care Biffy is showing her, people would think he's courting her. No. Have you met Biffy? He believes Channing of the Chesterfield Channings thinks he is strong, but he is in fact ice, and he wants Channing of the Chesterfield Channings to break himself against Faith. I think he wants to do more than break himself against Faith.
I think so, but I just love that Biffy's like, nah, you need some sexual help, friend.
Dude, you need to get laid.
Biffy would never say that.
No, he wouldn't.
He would never say that.
No, it's too uncouth.
No. Meanwhile, Mr. and Mrs. Iftercast are delighted about the invitation to the ball, and Mrs. Iftercast takes the three girls, Teddy, Faith, and Minnie, shopping right away. Teddy already has a dress she loves, but Faith has nothing because her parents are terrible. And Minnie is along because she is the lady's maid and has been with Faith for a very long time. They need a shop that will follow Biffy's fashion lead and find one who is as modish as he is, leaving Minnie, who is adept at sewing, with an eye for fashion, to help. She seems very pleased at being able to help and do a job that she enjoys and that she is very good at, and is not a lady's maid.
On the way to the ball, Faith is told basically everything about everyone who will be in attendance and to not talk about rocks too much. Teddy's not told not to talk about horses, and Teddy's brothers, Cyril and Colin, are told they must dance at least one dance each with the girls and to not just disappear into the card room or run off with a girl who's much too young, even if she is a pip. After arrival, Faith sees Biffy and his beta, Lyle, and Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, and then he comes to demand a dance.
While dancing, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings seems to show great interest in Faith, but also seems to want to push her away. They flirt outrageously, and he wants to ravish her. They talk about why she has come to London, seeking a werewolf husband because of some shame in Boston, but he hasn't discovered what that is yet, and she asks him if he is no longer interested in marriage. Oh no. Channing of the Chesterfield Channings disappears briefly into his memories of his wife, who is long dead, but returns with a fierceness meant to scare Faith away. It does not work. She only seems more interested in him. Later, Lord Ambrose requests Faith's dinner dance without her knowing his intentions. She being dinner. But Channing of the Chesterfield Channings is there to basically tell him he can't just request the dinner dance and therefore have her for dinner without her consent. Consent is key.
We love consent.
Yay! They bicker a bit, vampire to werewolf, but eventually the vampire backs down. Faith stands up for herself during all this as well.
Yay!
Yay!
We love that.
We do.
More events pass and many gentlemen try to court Faith, but she only has interest in Channing of the Chesterfield Channings. He seems to be interested in her as well, which is the talk of the town. Everyone comes to love Faith and her Americanness, which is an odd feeling since her own parents don't like her much at all. I would say, just don't like her. Full stop.
No.
When Channing of the Chesterfield Channings is called away for an unknown amount of time on pack business, some in town think he has given up on Faith, or that she has given up on him. But then he returns with an obvious desire for her.
Channing of the Chesterfield Channings received a missive from a partner in America about the Sundowner Bullets and how they no longer seem to be in America, so they've got to be somewhere. But He also went fishing for information about Faith and the Wigglesworth family as well. His American counterpart discovered that Mr. Wigglesworth was the final signature on legislation preventing unescorted werewolves from entering Boston, which led to the werewolf pack getting revenge on the Wigglesworth family by sending a Clavenger to court and bed Faith, then refuse to marry her, ruining her and her reputation. Biffy and Lyle want Channing of the Chesterfield Channings to fight for her or do something. Anything. Because he's being terrible to everyone.
At a party, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings takes Faith out to the gardens and tells her he knows her secret, but not in a menacing way, only so they don't have to keep things from each other. She tells him how dull her experience was and that she knows the wolf did it because her father is an ass. Feeling closer to the werewolf, she shows off her neck to Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, and he kisses her roughly, which she likes quite a bit, as it's not as nearly as dull as her first experience. She pretends to whimper and escape, so he presses harder, and then leaves.
Oh!
Damn it.
Damn it. Break that ice, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings.
Channing of the Chesterfield Channings.
You can't just, it's gotta be the whole thing. Faith doesn't know whether to expect a proposal of marriage after this event, or maybe a proposal of some sort of continued relationship. But what she gets is
a damn good Rogering, or maybe some even Gertruding.
No. She just...
It would be a Gertruding.
It would not be a Gertruding.
It would definitely be a Rogering.
It would definitely be a Rogering. But she doesn't get that. She just gets confused.
Oh no.
Wah, wah.
Wah.
She sees Channing of the Chesterfield Channings at Chapeau de Poop, but he is very cool with her, cool like ice.
Or a cucumber.
Biffy tells Faith that she confuses Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, but wants to ensure that she will still be coming for dinner at the Pack House, as they were invited before this recent confusing event. Mrs. Iftercast wonders if Faith did something to put him off, but Teddy argues that he's never really been interested in anyone before that anyone knows of.
Oh, yes. Well, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings tracks the bullets to the vampires and remembers that he used to tear through all the vampires in France, especially the one time he killed a queen. Ah, memories. He really hates vampires, but now they are civilized. He has to be too. When he returns to the Pack House, Biffy tells him that the Iftercasts will be joining them for dinner, and he will be too, using his alpha influence over his gamma. Biffy wants Channing of the Chesterfield Channings to tell Faith why he is the way he is. That way. When he inevitably leaves her, so she will know it's not her fault. Biffy tells Channing of the Chesterfield Channings that he will never tell his secret, but that doesn't mean that others in the pack won't, so he needs to be the one to do it first.
I mean, yeah.
If it's your secret and you need to tell someone, you do it.
Yeah.
You have to be the one.
Dinner that evening is absolutely hilarious and is spent teasing Channing of the Chesterfield Channings. Biffy suggests each of the wolves around the table might be a good marriage candidate for Faith for various reasons. Except for Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, which makes him preciously jealous. After dinner, he and Faith are finally mostly alone, with everyone else purposefully distracted. Faith tells Channing of the Chesterfield Channings that she doesn't expect him to marry her, but if he's interested in having some sort of something with her, she will sexily run from him every night and be his prey.
Later, Faith decides to send gifts to Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, a wolf painting and rabbit slippers, trying to kill him with kindness. playing more games with him, and Biffy fully supports it, telling her she might actually kill him. Unfortunately, things get less fun when Mr. and Mrs. Wigglesworth come to London.
Ugh.
Boo! Boo! Mrs. Iftercast wrote them some time ago inviting them, thinking that there would soon be engagement to celebrate. Mrs. Wigglesworth is delighted to learn that they are not engaged and tells Channing of the Chesterfield Channings just how terrible her daughter is, causing a very American, very embarrassing scene at a party. Luckily, lots of people step in to protect Faith. The most important is Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, of course. He tells Mrs. Wigglesworth that she will not besmirch her daughter's name ever again, because he will give her his. He will make sure that everyone, everywhere, knows how terrible she is. He sends her away. He also very subtly at one point says, "The woman I love," and that is never mentioned again for quite some time. But I heard it, and I swooned.
After this dreadful scene, Faith has to tell Channing of the Chesterfield Channings why she was sent to marry a werewolf. It is because her first and only sexual encounter, the one that he found out about with the Claviger, got her pregnant. And then the baby died before she gave birth, causing her to never be able to bear children. It's very heavy and very, very sad.
It is.
She thought if she married a werewolf, it wouldn't matter anymore because they cannot procreate. The thing is, though, she actually wants Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, not because he's a werewolf, but because he's so much more than that, and they can be even more together.
He's such a big sweetie.
Oh!
And he's also very floofy. She can give him all the scriptures. Teddy retrieves Faith after this revelation and they head back home. Teddy, usually a chatterbox, is quiet but steadfast in her support of her cousin. I freaking love Teddy. When they get back home, Minnie is there and is very anxious. Faith is worried because her mother was very angry when she found out that Minnie has been working as a seamstress instead of her being her lady's maid. But that's not why Minnie is upset. It turns out that she has the Sundowner bullets and was supposed to deliver them to someone from the anti-supernatural set, but she wanted to sell them instead to make enough money to become a seamstress outright. Unfortunately, she was unable to go through with the sale, it being very difficult for her to find the correct buyer. Now, however, Faith's father wants the bullets back and physically assaulted Minnie in order to get them. Minnie still has them, though, for now. The Wigglesworths, excluding Faith, are absolute assholes.
They're
and
terrible.
I hate them.
They're terrible.
I hate them.
They're terrible. At the pack house, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings is in the library, his favorite place there when he is home.
Yay!
Oh. He's not home often, though. But
No.
He might be more so now that he will be married. He clears off some shelves, but as he is doing so, Lyle comes to speak with him. Channing of the Chesterfield Channings thinks the beta will tell him to call off the engagement, but he has actually come to tell him that the pack quite likes Faith and Biffy approves, and that they will care for her when Channing of the Chesterfield Channings inevitably leaves, since he hasn't kept a woman longer than a few hours since his wife. That's harsh. Hurts me. Lyle tells Channing of the Chesterfield Channings that he will need to tell Faith about Odette and Isolde, which pains Channing of the Chesterfield Channings quite a bit. But after what Faith had to endure and what she told him, he knows Lyle is right.
Lila's mostly right.
Yeah.
it's just sometimes the way he goes about things.
Yeah, and that was really harsh. Like, well, we know that you're going to get rid of her, so it's fine. We like her. She's fun. We'll keep her.
We'll keep her while you go off gallivanting around.
No.
Faith, Minnie, and the lady, if the casts, go to the pack house the next day during the day, not the night, so the wolves are not awake. This is normal for the soon-to-be wife, as she will be taking over many of the household duties, even in the pack house. She will be the first woman to marry into the pack since Alexia. So it will be nice to have a lady around more often. They have a more important reason to be there, though. Oh, Minnie does, to be more specific. Unfortunately, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings and Lyle left quickly to the Burr offices after waking, but when Faith tells Biffy she needs to see Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, he rushes off to retrieve him. The alpha rushing off to retrieve.
So serious.
It is.
Soon enough, 3 wolves arrive. One, a beautiful white wolf that approaches Faith. At first, she's afraid, but she soon realizes it's Channing of the Chesterfield Channings and gives him some pets and scritches.
Yay.
Yay. He nudges her to the library, and she immediately falls in love even more, and I think we all do.
Yes.
She convinces the wolf to transform back into a man, and is pained but intrigued to hear and see the transformation. She is very pleased to see what he looks like after the transformation, and even more so when she is invited to actually look at him, since he is hers now, after all. But then Wolf Biffy trots in with a very tiny robe, putting an end to the longing looks.
I like to think it's so tiny that no matter where he moves, things just dangle out and she still gets to see stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's definitely some dangles.
Definitely.
There's definitely some dangles dangling.
It's a tiny kimono robe.
Yes. Like a child-sized robe.
Yes. Clothed in the tiny kimono robe. It is finally time for Channing of the Chesterfield Channings to tell Faith his story. This is not the most appropriate clothing to be wearing at this point, but you know, what the heck. He was once a young sculptor in Paris and fell deeply in love with and married a young woman named Odette and had a daughter, Isolde. Since Channing of the Chesterfield Channings was a sculptor, this obviously meant he had excess soul, and he was soon desired by a local vampire hive. He refused to join them, but was kidnapped by the Queen and held against his will for at least a month. During this time, Odette, who was already a sad and sickly woman, fell deeper into her depression. When Channing of the Chesterfield Channings was finally able to return to his wife, she leapt with their daughter from their window into the river below. He was unable to find them. This entire thing is absolutely soul destroying.
But then you imagine that he's wearing a tiny child-sized kimono
And then let's
robe.
remember Channing of the Chesterfield Channings is wearing a tiny kimono robe.
Don't worry, we're digging right back into the sadness. Tiny robe aside. Lost in his own despair and fully prepared to die himself, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings went to war, where he was turned into a werewolf after being shot. He fought in 3 wars and was finally able to get his revenge on the vampire queen who kidnapped him, biting her head off and earning quite the monstrous reputation for himself. Since he lost his wife and child and exacted his revenge, he really didn't care much for anything afterward. Until, that is, he met Faith. He is pleased to realize that throughout his entire tale, Faith is wrapped with attention and maybe even more in love with him now than before. When she gives over the bullets, explaining Minnie's involvement and her own father's, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings loves Faith even more too.
Not much time passes, the two are wed in a very small ceremony that is embarrassingly attended accordingly to the news. Maybe even more embarrassingly too, the news, but not to anyone in attendance, is the simple wedding dress and the tiny white top hat worn by the bride. Channing of the Chesterfield Channings enjoys divesting his new wife of her dress and hat, and she enjoys undressing her husband as well, and they both enjoy the rest of the night even more. As an aside, Teddy also lives happily and hoarsely ever after.
Oh,
yay!
I'm glad we're not saying anything where we would normally say, okay, let's take a break for a few seconds and then come right back.
I'm just happily sitting here smiling.
Well, and I have to awkwardly feel the silence. Feel it. I have to feel it, I said, because I'm an American.
You're American and can't bear silence, and I'm British and quite revel in it.
Have you ever read a book and thought, wow, I would love to see this on the screen? Well, the Adapt Me podcast is for you. Hi, I'm Emily Malik, host of the Adapt Me podcast, and with a guest every episode, we take a look at books that have never been adapted, why that's so, and how we would go about translating it to a different medium. We talk about any novel from the serious to the downright silly, as long as it hasn't had an adaptation. So come and take a listen to the Adapt Me podcast on wherever you get your podcasts.
I have to say that I am so happy with this book after reading Romancing the Inventor. Romancing the Inventor crushed my spirits, but it's back. It's back now.
But let's it's done, it's dusted, let's move on. Let's talk about this one.
Yes. This one felt so
authentic.
Much. Yes. It's what I needed.
It's a Miss Gill.
Yeah.
It's got, for me, it's the headstrong, independent, obstinate, headstrong girl who's the lead character.
Mm-hmm.
And Faith's new, don't know her from Adam, but she's got an independent spirit. She's got personality. She's just got this witticism about her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's a great character. And Teddy, as her almost like Ivy counterpart,
mm-hmm.
delightful. They have banter.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's having the rest of the characters there as well. Do you know, okay, I know I said move on, but actually I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why Romancing the Inventor is a more difficult book is because it centres so much on just the vampires, and it's not Lord Ockledama. If it was Lord Ockledama, who has the wit and humour and the force of personality, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But the Miss Gale vampires, and we've said this a number of times, are not a vampire you want to be. Or a vampire you want to associate with. They're the worst kind of vampires. It's the one book series where we prefer the werewolves.
Yes.
And they weren't there, apart from that tiny little snippet when Alexa and non-Scottish Connell, if you listen to the audiobook, came in.
Yes.
But this is just surrounded by them.
Yeah.
And it's surrounded by the side characters without having Alexa and Connell and Ivy there that you want to have interactions with.
Yeah.
So it's back with the werewolves, and it's back with the characters who you love, and it's back having that strong, obstinate, headstrong girl as a lead character with a friend who she can banter with.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a formula that you need, that Miss Gill does perfectly.
Yes. I also appreciated that there was a lot of back and forth. Sometimes you were reading from Faith's perspective, and sometimes it was Channing of the Chesterfield Channing, so that was also nice because we got to see more about him, which we appreciate.
Yeah, I think it's a better book for having his point of view. Much better book for having that, especially in the devastating scenes when you hear about Adette quite clearly suffered from depression.
Definitely.
And armchair diagnosing.
Yes.
And then I think she had postpartum depression as well.
Yes.
And so she was in a very dangerous, dark place. That mental health doesn't exist in the 1800s.
Yeah. And then her husband disappears and she doesn't know that he's kidnapped.
Yeah.
So that's just going to make everything 1,000 times worse.
Devastating.
Devastating.
I don't think it's... the backstory isn't a surprise. But at the same time, it's like... Huh. So that's what's up with Channing.
Yeah. That's why he hates everyone. It's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's a good reason to hate everyone.
He doesn't hate everyone, though. He doesn't...
Just the vampires.
He hates vampires. Understandable. And he is not a long-term relationship guy until he meets Faith, which is, again, understandable.
Yeah.
But other than that, you don't really know. We never knew anything much about Channing of the Chesterfield Channing. So it's nice to have those revelations and to hear from his perspective. And for you to be able to go, yeah, actually, that does explain a lot.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. I also appreciated Faith's devastating backstory.
Yeah.
And the reason why she was disowned. I mean, her parents are horrible. That's reason number 1. And reason number 2. And 3 and 4 and 5 at least.
They were horrible even before the event.
Yes. And they just kept getting worse.
Worse. There's just any excuse.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, time period wise, it's a big excuse.
Yeah. But they could have done things differently. And
I don't think they know how to have a positive emotion, though.
No.
I don't think they know. I don't even think they like each other. They
No.
tolerate each other because they have to.
Yeah.
As a married couple. But they certainly don't like nor love their child.
No, definitely not. And I feel so bad for Faith because she's like, well, I don't know if you knew this, but it only takes one time. And that time wasn't even good.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do know a few people who, I say a few, I can probably name 2 off the top of my head, whose first time did result in pregnancy. And they're like, oh, it's fine. It's first time, yeah.
Ugh.
That's as an adult. That doesn't include when I was a teenager and it felt like everybody was falling pregnant every 5 seconds.
Right. Same around here.
Yeah.
Because in school we were taught abstinence and nothing else. And shocking, everyone,
Useful.
that doesn't work. I just had horrible flashbacks to that week in high school. I have to tell the story. I'm so sorry. We had a week in the high school where we had to, learn about abstinence. And at the end of the week, you got a ribbon or something saying because you finished your week of this horrors of studies and being talked down to about everything that you're doing incorrectly. So anyway, I, unfortunately, having diabetes, got sick and missed part of that week. And so I didn't get the ribbon that everyone else did. And so then everyone was like, oh, wow, Amanda, you're a slut. So that was fun.
What?
Thanks, abstinence classes in high school. Sucked. It was good. It was really good. Anyway.
What?
Yeah, it's gross. It's grotesque. Yeah.
I just remember my very rotund, very ginger physics teacher was the one who did the "This is where babies come from" lesson. And not really being able to pay any attention because, like I say, he's rotund and his buttons kept coming open. and his fly was undone, and I didn't see anything. But I spent the entire hour going, should I tell him? But then he knows I've looked. But I didn't mean to look. But the way that the benches were, there was like stools on a high bench. So when you lean forward, you were naturally at like waist height.
Crotch level.
And I was like, this is awkward. So I can't remember anything of the actual... I mean, obviously I knew it all because we'd done it all in other lessons and biology and stuff. But this one was specifically designed. And I don't remember.
Yikes.
And we used to, every year, have... it used to be called the Girl Talk, which was all about menstrual cycle and periods and stuff. And then we got free samples. And all the boys were out doing PE and they knew what was happening because all the girls were off. So they didn't pre-warn you. You came in and you're sitting there in your PE outfit going, I got changed and brought all my gear in for nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh, samples.
Ooh.
Oh, school! It's so much fun.
Shit, it is fun. Let's go. Let's go back. Let's go back and talk about this book some more, and not talk about.
Like, yeah, I thought you were going to talk about let's go back to school. I was like, no,
no, thank you. No.
Anyway,
I think my favorite scene. I have two favorite scenes in this one. One is the dinner scene where they're all being judged as marriageable werewolves. Everyone except Channing. And like you can tell that they're doing it on purpose. It takes like a couple of them for them to go through, and then then they start mentioning how great everyone is and how they would be a great partner. And then there's a quote later which is, I don't know if I marked it as one of my favorites or if you did or if we just need to share it separately, but there's a whole thing with Channing.
Share it now. Do it now.
Okay.
Just do it now. It makes sense.
Okay. Major Channing is a decorated soldier, the head of a powerful government body, reasonably tall, passably good looking. He has all his teeth, all his hair, and all his limbs. What more could you possibly wish for in a son-in-law?
Hey, they're not wrong.
He's got all his teeth and his limbs.
All his hair.
Yeah.
And all his limbs. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah. He's passably good looking. And he's just sitting there stewing. So cute. It was so good.
Oh.
And then I also love the scene where he stands up for Faith and puts Mrs. Wigglesworth in her place. Yeah, that was fantastic.
I did really enjoy that scene as well, because you really get you already did get a sense of how bad Mrs. Wigglesworth was, but yeah, I do enjoy a scene where the hero comes in and helps defend the heroine. Yes. But even especially when it's a parent, it's difficult for you to stand up against them. And when you're in a society who you're trying to integrate in with, you could understand Faith being a little bit, what the hell am I supposed to do? But she's got the backing of the pack even before. Even if nothing happened between Faith and Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, she would have the backing of the pack because Biffy just genuinely likes her. Yeah. And if Biffy, the alpha, Lord Falmouth, likes you, that's a lot. Yeah. That is a lot. That's a lot. One of my favourite scenes was when Channing of the Chesterfield Channings is in the Pack Library and he's clearing out some of the shelves so that Faith can put her rock books in there.
Yes, and her rock collection too.
And her rock collection.
They talk about the filling it and like putting different fabrics in behind so the rocks will stand out more, like, oh.
And Lyle's with him as well. And you always get this tension in all of the books between Lyle and Channing of the Chesterfield Channings. And you kind of like, do they actually just not like each other? And I just think it's the very similar people, but very different at the same time. It's not a clash of personalities, it's a similarity of personality. And Channing of the Chesterfield Channings has so much respect for Lyle because he knows Lyle is the backbone.
Yeah.
And he knows that he is the tooth and claw of the pack.
Yeah, like they have a very similar position in being beta and being gamma, and they talk about this a bit in the book where like Biffy has to be the backbone and stand up for everybody, but not physically. And Channing as the gamma is like, I'm sorry, Channing of the Chesterfield Channings as the gamma is, you know, the muscle. So like they have to do the same thing, but they have to do it in different ways.
Yeah, and I feel like this book, you get that. This is the book where you learn the dynamic of the pack the best.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's partly because of the change in the perspectives.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I also really like it when Channing of the Chesterfield Channings is talking to Faith, and they mention one of these textbooks, like an article that's been written about the rocks. And she's like got this little smirk, and he's like, "Did you write this?" And she's like, "Yeah, nobody's guessed that. Actually, this, I can't remember the name, the pseudonym, because obviously she's a woman and can't write under her name, and you know, misogyny, damn you."
Yeah.
So yeah, and he's like, "I'll take you to all of the talks about all of the rocks."
Yeah, that was very sweet. And sorry it was glossed over so much in the summary, but
no, it's fine. I think it's these little Tibbety type scenes, which is why I would actively encourage anybody to read it. And I don't even necessarily think you need to have read any of the Parasol Protectorate books. You could quite happily read this as a standalone. You don't have to have the background of Channing of the Chesterfield Channings throughout the Parasol Protectorate ones. You really don't.
Yeah.
This one is very much a standalone, and you could read this one, understand and realise how genius Gail Carriger is, and then go, you know what, actually I am going to read the rest of the series, because then when you're reading the Parasolverse series and you see Channing of the Chesterfield Channings come up, you go, I can't wait till you meet Faith. Because I like doing that sometimes when I go back and go, I know what's going to happen to you, you're going to get kissing with somebody else. So yeah. Did you have any surprises?
I don't think so. I don't think I really had any surprises. I mean,
yeah,
story-wise. Audiobook-wise, yes, but I don't really want to talk about that because I don't want to bring the tone down.
It's
again.
a repeat of issue. It's repeated issues, I think.
Yeah.
Of the quality. I don't have a surprise, but it's the absolute. I mean, I've listened to this before, so I know exactly, and I've read it before, so it's difficult to say. But what I always find very shocking is actually the absolute vitriol and venom with which Mrs. Wigglesworth abuses Faith in society with.
Yeah.
Because that's not tarnishing Faith, or at least it wouldn't tarnish just Faith, it would tarnish her as well.
Right?
That's it, you can't.
Like, you sound so despicable, and everyone knows how terrible you are. When you talk like that...
And a terrible caretaker of your own child, like you can't protect them.
No, but when you speak like that in public, and as loudly and Americanly as she was doing it, like, that does not make you look good, friend.
No, it's cringe. It is complete cringe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. What do you think about the Minnie character, which was like a very underlining one? Minnie and her desire to sell the Sundowner bullets, which is complete gubbins. It was just a MacGuffin. That was just the reason from being there was the bullets.
I mean, I think that she was trying her best. She saw an opportunity and she took it. But then I think, she just felt really bad about it. One, because Faith was like, "Oh, but you really like sewing, so you should be a seamstress. So why don't you go and, like make all these beautiful dresses and help her out. Like, that's great. You're so nice. And that's really what she wanted all along. And so I think after being unable to dump the bullets off on someone else, she's like, shit. I better come clean. You've been nice to me. I'm going to do it. Here, I still have these. And she's like, oh, okay, great. Let me take them from you. Let me help.
I'm going to alter universe. Minnie should have been Imogen. We should have had this one first. Minnie disappears off. Don't know what happens. She goes and gets a job at a manor house as inside staff, where she meets a lovely French inventor.
That would have been infinitely better.
And that's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Yeah.
Do we need to ask favourite character? I mean, is it too obvious to say Channing of the Chesterfield Channings? That is very obvious.
It's very
obvious. I did say in the
obvious.
summary, Teddy. I adore Teddy.
Yes.
I would love Teddy to be in another story.
I would love for Teddy to be in another story as well. There was a lot of ridiculous and silliness going on with Teddy and her family and how obsessed she is with horses.
I think I know almost real life Teddy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think we probably all do.
We probably do.
That one person who never grew out of their childhood love of ponies.
Yeah. I don't know that there's anything else. Everyone should definitely read this book, though. There's a lot of...
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
I was worried for you. I really was. But I thought actually...
was also worried. But...
yeah.
But again, we're not talking about that.
No, but when somebody doesn't appreciate... Well, not really didn't appreciate, but doesn't like one book in a series, it's concerning when you get to the next one. But you think, actually, I know the differences are there, and what you're missing is what is there.
Yeah.
So actually you should.
And also, like, these aren't main parts of the story. These are extra bits.
They are.
So it's okay, I think, to like one and not like another one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, you can dislike a book in a series as well.
Also true. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to like 100% of everything.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love this one, and I don't think How to Marry a Werewolf gets enough love.
No, I think
it's definitely my second favourite of the novellas.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favourites
Coming up
we're doing in December.
in December, yes.
Yes, we are having a little bit of a break from the Miss Gail Parasolverse novellas.
Yes. Because we don't have enough.
We don't have enough, but we also need to finish another series.
Yes.
And we need to go back to Forks.
We do need to go back to Forks.
Especially for Halloween.
I'm not going to keep going.
I cannot join in. I don't have that vocal range right now. No reason. So I'm just going to go on to favourite final thought quotes while Amanda does that.
No, now I'm done because then the lyrics start, and if I start the lyrics, then I absolutely will not stop. So let's do favorite final thought quote.
Okay. No one will have heard of me at all. Faith was cheered by that thought. Oh, the joy of anonymity.
Oh.
Do you remember when you were at school and none of the teachers remembered your name, and then all of a sudden the headmaster would go, Claire! And you're like, oh shit. What have I done?
No, I didn't have that experience.
Okay. I mean, it was never a bad thing. Because I was a disgustingly good child.
That's great.
Don't contradict me, mother. Thank you. But yeah. Tap of lemon, yeah. Okay, next. I'm only going to give a couple.
Okay.
I'm perfectly able to read, Major. That's amazing what you can find in a bookstore these days.
Oh my gosh, she's talking about smutty books. She's talking about the spice.
I could recommend a few spicy books, and I might be recommending one in a bit.
Oh. Oh, is that it? Is that all you have?
Yeah, I'm only going to give you a couple. It was so short, and there were some heavy scenes in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a few. First, I just feel like I have to say, as broodingly delicious as it is, I will follow you into darkness. Oh. And then also, I very much appreciate looking into the ether was like looking into her own soul, an empty void.
The book, Amanda. Book.
Is that me? Is that me?
Yeah.
And finally, you could try being happy. Or would that strain something?
Oh, you definitely pull a muscle.
So
right
good.
in the side. You'd be like, I've got a stitch.
Happiness.
Oh, it feels like cramps.
Oh.
Hot water bottle. Ginger biscuits.
All right.
Any more?
No, that's the end.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do Would You Rather. Pew, 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 pew,
Oh, I hit my hat.
I know. We asked basically rocks or horses, but you can't talk about them at the ball. It's not socially
Yeah.
good.
Don't speak of them,
No.
but love them.
Well, everyone loves rocks. Facebook, it was 60% for the win, and on Instagram, it was 80% for the win. Lots of comments. Drew on Facebook says, it's time for me to reveal that I am a former horse girl, so I have to choose horses.
Oh, superfan Drew, we already knew you loved horses. We already knew it. Emily on Facebook says, it's horses. I love how majestic they are.
Colin on Facebook said rocks because you can't throw a horse. Well, Superman could, or the Hulk. But outside of those outliers, I don't believe that anyone else can throw a horse. You also get different sized rocks, and as we all know, horses are all the same size. On a connected note, why are horses measured in hands when feet would be better? See what I did there? It's a maths joke and a dad joke at the same time. Therefore, the best kind of joke. Where was I? Rocks, throwing a horse, giant rocks, dad joke. Ah, that's right. You can build stuff with rocks and you can get arrested if you try that with horses. So yeah, rocks are better. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. Katrina on Facebook says, tough one, because I love animals, but I do like rocks, as in crystals and gemstones, and it's a cheaper hobby to be obsessed with, so I say rocks.
It's a cheaper hobby. Claire on Facebook said, horses for me. I love all animals. And they are just... Oh, you said that one. You said that one, the majestic creatures?
I think that maybe there
No,
might
we've
have been
got
a
two
mistake.
issues of majestic. Oh, there you go. Because Claire on
Either that or it
Facebook
was
also said...
The same
You
comment
said Emily.
twice.
Horses
on
are for me. I
accident.
love all animals. And they are such majestic creatures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two people said the majestic.
Yeah.
I would dispute that, but, you know, it's my comments.
Annie on Facebook says, I'll take a nice clean rock over a big smelly horse any day.
Yeah, they do poop. Coral on Facebook said, I love rocks. Sometimes it does make me crazy obsessed. Let's talk rocks. I'll make it appropriate.
Cody on Facebook says, well, I have 2 horses and I work in the only building in the world made of a certain rock. LOL. Which is true. It's very cool.
Fiona on Facebook said, horses are expensive.
And Constance on Facebook says, excuse you, they make for perfect conversation at a ball. She is directing her complaint by letter using cursive writing to the patriarchy, 1800s, misogynistic England.
Lydia Inked on Instagram said, I am both. I collect all the rocks and I would love to be around horses all the time.
Bree Tart on Instagram says, already am crazy about horses. I just wish it wasn't such an expensive hobby. Rocks are shiny, pretty. Horsies are horsies.
And finally, Glim Glam Jen on Instagram said, I want to be mad about horses, but you know, mad about them. Like, I'll start telling my dance partner how badly horses are put together and how dumb it is when they run around on their tiptoes. There will be crazy mad motions and acting stuff out. It will be great. My mother will be horrified, alas.
Oh,
Glim Glam Jen always wins when it's an animal.
really, she really
question.
does. She really does. I am afraid of horses. I
Terrifying.
was once thrown off of a horse and then almost trampled by said horse. So I do not like horses. I will collect rocks all day long. Even if I don't like rocks as much, I will collect rocks.
I like rocks. Rocks are cool.
I do like rocks. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I like horses so little that even if I didn't like rocks, I would collect rocks.
Yeah, I'm not a horse fan. I respect them from a safe distance. If you're a horsey person, good for you. They're all yours.
Yeah.
I've never sat on a horse. I do not have the desire to sit on a horse. I was chased by a pony, and it was a little tiny Shetland, like a Dartmoor pony. So, this thing was as big as me. I don't need to be going anywhere near a horse. Those strangely farrier videos on Instagram Reels are very interesting to watch. Like eyeball ASMR. It's very satisfying. But when they don't get that bit of dirt, you're like, get it! Oh, there you go. And I do want to I would love to poke a frog on a horse's hoof, which apparently feels a little bit like pressing down on like a wheel of brie.
I don't like anything that's happening in this conversation.
Let's move on.
Gross. Would you rather be an American in London or a werewolf in Boston?
I mean, if it's going by what's happening, probably an American in London.
I mean, I want to be an American in London currently, right now.
American in London.
I want to do it again. Many
American
more times.
tourists have really bad reputations.
I feel like
I'm
I
gonna be
was
a
pretty
werewolf.
nice.
You were, but generally, Americans just shout and don't know how to queue. So you always get wrong. And call everything Europe. Europe is not a country.
I'm smarter than that.
You are. You are 0.5% of the population of America. I'm going to say a werewolf in Boston, and I'm not going to be part of that asshole pack. I'm going to get revenge for Faith.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be Channing of the Chesterfield Channing's werewolf agent in Boston.
Yeah, okay.
To get revenge on Faith's behalf and those damn Wigglesworths.
I like that. That's a good
And then
answer.
I'll come back to London.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, of a similar vein, would you rather be an American werewolf or a London werewolf?
I mean, we don't know a whole lot at this juncture about American werewolves. So I would rather be a London werewolf just because I know more about them. But American werewolves seem to be, fighting on the right side and doing the right thing. But
yeah.
I don't want to have to deal with that.
You don't want to have to deal with the revolution.
No.
The difficult thing is, though, if you're a London werewolf, you'd have to be your own pack. And imagine the amount of pressure to be fashionable when Biffy is the alpha of another pack.
Yeah. I don't know. Can I not just get his help?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'll be his number one client at Chapeau de Poop.
Yeah.
Definitely a London werewolf. Can't be asked with the whole... Like I say, I've gone to Boston. I've got my revenge. I'm coming back.
Yeah. Would you rather your beau give you shelves in a library for your niche books or take you to a talk on your niche topic of interest?
Bitches love libraries.
I mean, yeah. I want to give my own talk in my own library.
Yeah. Is it bitches or babes? I'm saying bitches because werewolf.
Okay. mean, either way, it's fine.
Girls love libraries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies love libraries.
Ladies do.
Ladies love libraries. New shirt? New shirt idea?
New shirt.
Ladies love libraries.
Would you rather wear a top hat to a wedding, you're the bride, or a top hat to a ball? Regardless, Biffy has gifted you said top hat.
I would have loved to have worn a top hat at my very own wedding. I would be fine with that. I wear a top hat all the time. I wish that hats were more socially acceptable in society. I would wear hats all the time. I would wear a Biffy hat.
Oh, I'd love to just sport a top
Always.
hat all the time. You could really.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the outfits as well, doesn't it? You've got to really kind of tailor your outfits.
Yeah. I'm
going to say wedding top hat, by the way, just because then I'll have that one top hat with one very specific memory.
Yeah.
And memento.
Yeah.
But then I'll have a series of top hats at the balls.
Right, of course.
Yes.
Just always wear top hats.
Yes.
All top hats all the time.
All top hats all the time.
Also, I think that's fine. Is it time for If You Liked This, Try This?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, we went through Would You Rather quickly.
Right. I haven't written mine. It's over here. Woo. So I'm going to recommend a book called I Kissed a Werewolf and I Liked It by Kat Hepburn. I got a copy when I was in London.
Oh, yay.
So, and again, one of the other reasons why I'm recommending it, because I got it on our show's capital. So the summary from the back of the book: the howling doesn't stop after the full moon. My first term of university, bad grades and worse sex. After losing my sister/best friend Grace and spending my teenage years suffering for it, I thought academia would be my saviour. So I buried my head in as many books as I could find, but it turns out you can't just turn the page in years of guilt. Still, the university library has become something of a haven away from the darkness. Until a werewolf bit me. Oh, it's come on. In the romance section, and to my surprise, kind of liked it. I should have died, but instead, in true form, I fell in love with my mysterious werewolf that nearly tore me to shreds. Now I feel myself changing, experiencing urges that never before. Maybe I should run for my life, but suddenly the dark bond is pulling me in closer. Am I making a terrible mistake? Could be luring me to finish what has started? Or could becoming a werewolf be the best thing that ever happened to me?
Ooh.
It felt like a little bit of a modern twist on a lot of the themes within the book. So,
Yeah.
within the story. So, yeah.
Cute.
There you go. What have you got?
I have one that I pulled from a list. It's called A Marriage of Undead Inconvenience by Stephanie Burgess. Haven't read it, but it sounds interesting. Margaret Dunhaven may have been forced into marriage with this sinister vampire lord of Shadowcroft Manor to fulfill a family obligation, but she's not about to stay trapped there for long. The beastly man doesn't even have any decent tea leaves in his kitchen. However, when she realizes that she's not the only one who's been tricked into this marital union, it's time to join forces with her unwanted new husband. If they can combine her scholarly skills with his ancient history, then, working together, they might just manage to reclaim her inheritance, break his curse, and find their freedom. Just so long as they don't fall in love along the way. Aww.
That sounds fun. What do we have new in Indie Spotlight?
For New and Indie Spotlight this time, we have one that, maybe has some #tenuous links. Kind of. We'll have to pull them out, but it sounds fun anyway. It is called The Missing Pages by Allison Richman. And Allison Richman has many other books, so this one is not an indie. But it is new. It's a new one. And this one comes out October 14th, so you still have time to pre-order it. Harry Widener boards the Titanic, holding tight to a priceless book he just purchased in London. There's a tenuous link.
Yes.
After mayhem strikes the ship, Harry's last known words are that he must return to his cabin for his treasure. Neither the young man nor the book are seen again. In his honor, his mother builds the Harry Widener Memorial Library at Harvard to memorialize her son and house his extensive book collection. Decades later, Violet Hutchins, a Harvard sophomore recovering from her own great loss, is working as a page at the Widener Library. When strange things begin happening at the library, books falling off shelves or opening to random pages, Violet wonders if Harry Widener's ghost is trying to communicate the missing pieces of his story from beyond the grave. Ooh. Ghosts, libraries, Titanic. Ooh.
Nice.
Yes. All right, that brings us to the end of the very last episode of Season 7 of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we start Season 8!
Yay!
With no gap or no time off. Means literally nothing to you. Join us as we discuss Summer Vamp by Violet Chan Kareem. Look out for our Would You Rather polls and monthly challenges on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover-themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
And rocks.
And horsies.
Yay!
No.
No. Top hats.
Top hats. All top hats all the time.
Wearing top hats in libraries. You can find us at fictionalhangover.com and follow us on all social media at Fictional Hangover. If you like this episode, check out our others and be sure to rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for listening.